Hello everyone, this is Lex2057 Group 65. This is our group podcast group, Just Lifestyle. For today's video, I'm going to be the host Sajid Abdullah, and with me our co-host Abida. And behind the screen, we also have Sabrina, our scriptwriter, and Winnie, our video editor. In today's podcast, we are going to talk about more interesting topic which we collected from around the world. To begin with, our first topic is coffee's effect on blood pressure and blood sugar. Today, coffee plays an integral role in our daily life. According to research, the caffeine richness of coffee has both advantages and disadvantages for people's health. Some advantages are coffee may offer some protection against Parkinson's disease, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, including liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. For most young, healthy adults, caffeine doesn't appear to be noticeably affect blood sugar levels. On average, having up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day appears to be safe. Now I'm going to pass it to our today's co-host Abida Ahmed. What do you think about caffeine's effect on people's health?
Thank you, host. So, what I think is, however, caffeine affects every person differently. For diabetes, the effects of caffeine on insulin action may be associated with higher or lower blood sugar levels. If you have diabetes, you are struggling to control your blood sugar levels, limiting the amount of caffeine in your diet may be beneficial. For blood pressure, caffeine can cause a short but dramatic increase in your blood pressure even if you don't have high blood pressure. However, it's unclear what causes the spike in blood pressure. For cholesterol level, high intake of boiled, unfiltered coffee has been associated with a mild increase in cholesterol levels. Who needs attention and how? Diabetic, reduce caffeine intake. Hypertension, follow doctor's orders. Outdoorsmen, measure blood pressure before drinking caffeinated beverages. Women who are pregnant, trying to become pregnant, or breastfeeding need to be cautious about caffeine too. Recent medication use, check medications, some contain caffeine. Conclusion: caffeine can have different effects on blood pressure and blood sugar depending on the individual. So it's best to do some self-monitoring of if you have diagnosed to see if you can continue having your regular cups of coffee safely. Thank you. Now I would like to pass it to the host.
Okay, so you are saying that even though we can take coffee, but some of us has to take some caution to take coffee. Something like if I have diabetes or women who are pregnant about this. So we have to take this cautionly because caffeine may affect us very differently.
Yes,
That is
yes, host.
okay. That clears this thing. So we are going to move on to our next topic, which is why you should go to therapy. Therapy or any sort of health or mental health issue may be long neglected concept in Bangladesh. Why treatment is difficult? For young people living at home, therapy is not accessible without your parents supporting you or at least knowing about it. The younger generation and our parents and grandparents, the older generation view the concept of mental health differently. So maybe our parents do not support us to go to therapy. The other reason, the younger people do not have enough funds. And most importantly, when they start therapy time may conflict with class or work. It seems there are a lot of difficulties we have faced to get therapy session. How do you think we can solve this kind of problem?
I think that given that many young people feel the need to go to the therapy because they feel anxious and overwhelmed due to their workload, it is important to take some time out of work to take care of their mental health. Otherwise, it often deteriorates more over time and jeopardizes it. Example: Naomi Sharif, an HSC graduate from Vikarunasa Noon School and College, shares how therapy turned out to be a very rewarding initiative for her. She was treated and her health was greatly improved. She considers any progress to be beneficial, however small it may be, and practices setting small realistic goals for herself. Even if we do not need help ourselves, Naomi's story tells us the importance of being informed about symptoms of illness so we can detect them in our close ones. A small nudge on our part, encouraging our friends to go to see a professional can go a long way in improving the quality of their lives. When children encounter these things, what should parents do? When your child asks for help, never tell them that you have already also passed the stage of their life they are at, because you have not. The world was not as globalized or fast paced before. Very young kids are exposed to things they are not prepared for, are not old enough for, and there is little we can do about it. The treatment of mental illness is somewhat similar to improving the circumstances the child is living in relative to before. As parents, there is no need to take personal offense when the children require help, whether the treatment is required. There is no need for an answer. You can go to therapy for no particular reason at all. Life, with all its uncertainties and complications, is enough. Now, I'd like to pass it to the host.
Okay, so you are saying that we already know that mental illness is a very important issue. It can cause really harm to our younger generation. So for the solutions, the parents has to be helpful. They have to understand what their child or their children's going on and going through. That's all you are saying, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So, actually, apparently, our parents need to understand what we are going through. They should be cautious about their child's mental health.
Yeah, before it is too late for them.
Yeah, before it is too late.
Okay, so in the conclusion, we can say that therapy is an option worth considering the time and effort it would take for giving in a shot. Do not go in expecting to find solutions overnight. However, it does empower you to take steps to go out there and seek the help. So moving on to our next topic, Germans love the outdoors. This is from Claire, whose nationality is actually Scottish, spoke about her experience as a teacher in Frankfurt. She said it is easy to get a foothold in Germany. Even if the language is not very good, there are a lot of similarities here with the UK, but also a lot of cultural differences. Fairness and following the rules are just as important here as they are in UK. The interesting thing about this news is in Germany, stores are closed on Sunday, which means everything has to be done on Saturday. Sundays are totally family leisure days. That says Germans love the outdoors. This topic turning into an interesting one. Abid Ahmed, do you want to add something?
Yeah, good climate. For spring to autumn, the weather here is much better than in the UK. You can go out every night if you want to. Then you get less stress. Particular emphasis is placed on a good work-life balance, which is also important. Life here is relatively easy and it's a joy to live here, you can say.
Okay, so good climate you say. So I think it make German people easier to go out because everyone enjoy the good climate. And you talked about the less stress part. So of course it will be easier for the Germans to go out and fresh their mind in outside. So I think that's all you wanted to say, right?
Yes, host. Yes.
So at the end, we can say that, of course, German people love outdoor. Their climate is good, and they can go out to relieve from their stress. Maybe we can also go in Germany, visit there to have experienced their good climate and relieve from our stress, right?
Yes, that's a really good idea.
Yeah. So moving on to our next topic and the last one. Exclusive stranger dispatch. Balcony concerts in Shanghai during epidemic. This news is from Chen Jian, lives in Asian Garden residential community in Shanghai. During the COVID-19 epidemic, most communities have been placed under lockdown. To cheer up the neighborhood, they organized a balcony concert in which residents sang inspirational songs from their balconies. The reason is in order to ease residents' anxiety in the face of the epidemic and their desire to return to normal life. A special concert was held to cheer residents up. This is a great way to step up for people to go back to normal life. However, during this epidemic time, it wasn't that easy. What kind of difficulties do you think they had to face?
So the difficulties were if the concept was started on a whim, it is a miracle to finally be able to finish it. Because of the time crunch, limited conditions, single way of communication, only online meetings. Definitely, because the epidemic was going on, no one can go out. Also, can't go out. Uncontrollable factors, problems with equipments, drones. For example, the drones equipment problems. And the way we could have solved it was a resident cooperation, enthusiastic attitude. That's it, host. Host, that's it for me.
Okay. So even though there are some difficulties, I think it was a great way to step up, go back to normal life because we cannot sit in our home for every time because of this epidemic. We have to go back to work or enjoy our outside. So I think even though they face some difficulties, it was very great step up from them. What do you think?
Yes, host. It's a very great step up, you can say.
So I think that's all from us. Dear listeners, we have come to ending point of our today's podcast. We are hopeful that the information we have shared today will help you to keep a healthy life. Thank you for your time. Hope we meet again.
Thank you.